episode 3. So, you may remember in the previous episode we notably completed the B license, and well, now of course, as you can see here, we have acquired our first of currently 5 licenses in this game, and the reason why I say 5 is because to anyone who is pretty much brand new to this game, obviously I'm trying not to reveal any spoilers. But as you can see there, we have our first license, and now of course we need to claim our next license as we go back to the main screen, and of course we go over here. So back to the license center, we have already completed the B license, and now of course it is time for us to move on to our next license in this game, the A license. So 10 tests as it was the previous one, and also as it primarily is basically for all of these licenses in this game. High speed braking. You will start braking while going much faster than in the B license test. Remember, faster speed means a longer braking distance. Again, use the distance markers to learn where to start braking. So, we're basically doing a braking test again, and essentially this time of course we are actually braking at speed. So let's get on with it and see how long this will take us. I think one time I actually got this one on my first attempt as far as I can recall, but I don't know for sure. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, Skyline GTR R32 is the car we are using for this event. Okay, so that was my first attempt, and surprisingly, I was not as far off the gold as from what I expected to be, because I would have almost thought for sure on my first attempt I was going to fail, but surprisingly I did not. So there was my first attempt at this one, and now we just need to see if we can get the gold. And will I be struggling? Probably. But we shall wait and see how long this will take us. Also, FYI, if you are confused at why that says miles per hour, it's meant to be kilometers an hour. But of course, I'm assuming because of this game notably being pretty much rushed and a mess during development, that oddly enough they probably forgot to change that miles per hour to kilometers an hour, considering this is obviously the European version. But anyways, before I start hopping off on a rant, let's just get on with seeing how many attempts this will take us to get the gold. Come on. Still, I have no idea how I was able to get this one on the gold first time. Oh, okay. Yep. There we go. Just needed to set my marker. I think that's all I was needing to do. But anyways, there we go. So not too hard overall. Just had to figure out where exactly to get on the brakes, because that was probably the tricky part. But anyways. Oh, yeah. Cornering and braking. Instead of simply braking, You must brake while turning. Note how the car moves outward when you apply the brakes, and inward when you release them. Apply and release the brakes gently and quickly. Control braking while rounding the curve. Yeah, just having a bit of a bruise there or something, but and the car we are using for this is a Subaru Legacy Sedan GT. Those are a 4-wheel drive. Let's see what happens. Regarding this will probably take me a few attempts. Well, that was my first attempt, and at least I know with these, and at least I know with this braking test, like the previous one, I was able to get a pass. But again, this will probably take some trialing and erroring, and now of course we need to see if I can get this one on the board. Either that, or I probably just don't know where exactly the braking distance is. Because I'm incompetent, I think. Or maybe not. Well, I suppose it's just because I needed... Maybe it's just because I actually needed to approach it at speed and then see if I could make the car skid across the line. But anyways, there we go. So, another gold. So, not too tricky to do in my honest opinion. Just needed to work on where exactly I could get the braking zone installed into the test. Intermediate cornering. 1. FF car. This is a cornering test using an FF front-wheel drive car. Follow the line, the racing line, that shows the ideal path on course. Apply solid braking when entering the corner to lower your speed. So we are using an FF for this first intermediate cornering test. And like of course with two of the tests in the B license, we are using a Honda Integra Type R. And the gold time I need is a 19.2. Let's see how long this will take us, and if I get it on my first attempt, I will be very surprised. But we shall wait and see. Just waiting to see. Well, I wasn't far off. I'm definitely within striking range of the gold, but obviously, since I didn't get it, I will probably need to improve on that. So, as far as I know, I think this is essentially the same one that I had, I think, in test number 8 of the B license. Yeah, B8. I think that's probably what it was that had this same corner, but anyways. Now it's time for the trialing and erroring to take place, dependent on knowing of course if I will officially get the gold. Okay, I think I set a more representable speed this time, but is it good enough? And yes, it is. By just over a tenth, it is good enough for the gold. I suppose all I needed to do was just keep a steady speed through the corner, and then obviously that's essentially how I got the gold. So, nice. Intermediate cornering 2. FR car. This is a cornering test using an FR. Rear-wheel drive car. Note how differently the car handles compared to the FF car. The response to fishtailing also differs from FF cars. Practice with both kinds of cars to get used to these differences. So, same test again, except this time of course we are notably using a front transmission rear-wheel drive car, which is precisely what FR is short for, and the car we are using for this test is a Toyota Altezza RS200. Kind of reminds me of Ford in a way, but I couldn't tell you how. Probably because it has RS200 in the name, but anyways. That's not important. What is important is just trying to see if I can set a representable time and then see how many attempts it will take me. Then see how many attempts it will take me to get the gold. Well, I don't think that was worthy of the gold. Probably wasn't even worthy of the silver. Well, at least it was worthy of the silver. But again, I still need just less than 2.5 tenths in order to get the gold. And that is precisely what I need to find. So, let's see how many attempts this will take us, and hopefully if it's possible we can find enough of a distance in terms of delta time to eventually get us to the gold. Only 2 thousandths away from the gold time. That's all I was. I think I know what it is I need to do now, but let's just wait and see if it works this time. There we go. That's what I needed to do. Well, that works. Even though obviously I didn't do this one alone. Because, well, I did some research on this test and I had a look at a channel called Rhino GT4, and surprisingly he actually did the same thing with this exact same test. Regarding, of course, obviously he was playing on the NTSC version and I'm playing on the PAL version, but oddly enough, of course, the technique does actually work. Somehow, it does actually work. But anyways, let's move on to intermediate cornering 3 FF car. Practice cornering with L-shaped turns, even though it's an L-shaped turn. Smoothly follow a circular line, practice accurately tracing a line through the apex, the point at which the car is closest to the inside of the corner. So this time we are, I think, turning left with this test, because L essentially, I believe, is for left, and we are once again using the Integra, which has proven to be quite a popular choice at the present time with this whole fucking shebang. Oh, okay, I went a bit too wide there. I was well off. Well, that was my first attempt, and it failed. So, fortunately for me with these tests, they have not been taken forever, and obviously, I'm actually relieved on how I've managed to get these on the gold sooner than I thought I was going to. But anyways, let's try this again and hopefully see if we can find around about 1.4 seconds. We shall wait and see. Let's try this again. See if this one works. And, oh, okay. Wow. I was only being experimental, and surprisingly enough, my new trick actually worked. It's actually got me the gold. I was not expecting that to happen. Surprisingly, these tests have not been taking me as long as I thought they were going to. Anyways. Intermediate cornering. 4. FR car. Practice cornering with L-shaped turns. Feel the difference in how FF and FR cars move. Pay attention to when you release the brakes, when you change the car's direction without using the brakes nor acceleration, and when you start accelerating. So pretty much the same test again, apart from saying obviously we are officially using the Altezza once again for this test. And the gold this time is a tenth faster, a 12.45 is what we need for the gold. And like I said before, with the launch speed, that's meant to be kilometers an hour because obviously this is the power version and not the NTSC version. I think that's like about, isn't that like 92 miles an hour, potentially 93? No, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, even though obviously this will probably not be worthy of the gold. Well, at least I got the silver. But again, I still need another half a second, pretty much in order to be secure for the gold. Let's see how long this will take us. Hopefully not too long. The Altezza does not understand the meaning of the word understeer. Could this be it? Oh, okay. Guess that works. About the expected length it was probably going to take me to get the gold. Well, I guess I just needed to avoid accelerating all the way pretty much on the entry and the exit of the corner, but anyways. 6 down, 4 to go. Applied cornering, 1. Practice attacking corners in a high-powered 4-wheel drive machine. 4-wheel drive cars, known for high stability but poor turning performance. Have many peculiarities to watch out for, including record line tracing, timing of accelerator use, and fine steering adjustments. As of which, the car we are using for this is a Mitsubishi 3000 GT Turbo MR. Here's my first attempt. Let's see how many this will probably take me to pass. As of which, I would anticipate probably a lot. But it just depends. Because I'm fairly certain that was probably not worthy of the gold. But we'll wait and see. Oh, okay. I guess that works. I was not expecting that to happen. Jesus Christ. That was completely unexpected. I was not expecting to get this one on the gold first try. Just seeing the replay. So that first one was easy. And now it looks like from here it's probably going to be harder. Because we are now returning to the real wheel drive cars. Applied cornering, 2 S-turn. Practice attacking corners in a high-powered FR machine. With FR cars, the timing of accelerator use greatly affects the car's movement. Use fine steering adjustments to neatly trace the record line. Your exit speed in the last corner is very important. So, first one, I think in my opinion was probably easy, but this one I would probably think is going to be harder, because obviously we are pretty much fighting oversteer when it comes to rear-wheel drive. So hopefully that will not affect me too much, but we shall wait and see. And I've already missed a shift, because I keep forgetting it's another one of those tests where you literally have to shift up as soon as the test begins. And that did not work. Could this be it? And well, at least I managed to pass. But again, I still end up missing the shift as soon as I cross the line. Well, guess it's time to see how long the trialing and erroring will take to get this one with dark gold. Here comes the trial and error. Oh, okay. That was easy. But anyways, there we go. And all it really took me was 3 attempts to get a gold. I suppose it's just because I needed to focus on my entry and my exit speeds. But anyways, 8 down, 2 to go. Applied cornering, 3, sharp turn. This cornering test uses a combination of right angle corners. Smoothly follow the cornering line. Make sure you cross the apex and always be sure to give full throttle when exiting the last corner. As we are now returning to the Mitsubishi 3000 GT for this test, and I think for the final one it's a Toyota Supra, as far as I can recall, with the A license, but surprisingly for me, this has actually taken me a lot shorter in terms of time than I thought it was going to. Because for me at least, most of these have been relatively simple, but some of course been harder than others. Good enough for a silver, but I was over 8/10 off securing a gold. Let's try seeing if I can obtain the gold somehow. I was there. I clearly fucked up my previous attempt. Oh, could this be it? But anyways, let's see. Is it it? Yes, it is. Holy shit. I was literally half a second faster that time. But anyways, there we go. So that is the gold. So not too difficult from my perspective overall, but obviously for many others it's probably harder. But anyways, 9 down, 1 to go. As it is now time for the 10th and final test of the A license. Applied cornering for sharp turn. This involves a combination of right angle corners. The key is to stop braking and start using your steering at the turn entry point to control the car's position, then give full throttle when exiting the last corner. So we are now returning, of course, to the Soup for this event, which is a nickname for the Supra, and of course we are now waiting to see if it is possible for us to succeed in getting the gold. We will just have to wait and find out. Considering I will probably not get this on my first attempt. It's unlikely anyway. And that's pretty much solidified how this test has gone. Yep, okay, that one's not gonna work. Well, at least I managed to pass this time. So, not too far off the silver, but again, I'm about less than a second off the gold. So even though I did pass this time, and as you can see there, I now have my A license. Not yet. I need to get the gold. Let's see how long this will take me. Also dependent on knowing if I need to pull off a similar tactic to what I did with the previous test. But we'll wait and see. Let's see, could this be it? Could this be it? There we go. And it only took me 10 failed attempts to get the gold by 9,000ths of a second. So this license overall, in terms of difficulty, for me at least, hasn't actually been as difficult as I thought it was going to be. But again, it's only for me. Also, furthermore, new car in our grasp. But before we do that, let us save the game. Just waiting for it to save. There we go. A license is now complete. And also, another thing I should note with this game is that, fortunately, it does not note every attempt as a day. Of the licenses, of the license tests that I am doing. But anyways, 2 down, 3 to go. As I now head over to my home page, click into the garage, and here is the prize car we win. A Dodge concept car, also known as the Dodge Copperhead, if you were watching my GT1 video with this car. So there we go, we win a Copperhead. from this license. And if we have a look at the game status now, as you can look at my sweet ass, sexy looking thing, we now have the A license. So, next time we will be doing the International C license. And so with that, stay tuned for more GT1. Sorry, stay tuned for more GT2.